Alright guys, welcome back to Blackacre Ranch. Positive news today, great stuff going on, and if you've been astute, you've probably noticed it in some of the videos that we've had. We finally, oh my gosh, finally got our water well. So we're going to tell you the story of it, kind of show you some footage of it, and then wrap it up today with where we're at now and how the system is going to generally operate and kind of what our plans are. So stick with us here on Blackacre Ranch. All right, another day. Guess what? Today's exciting. I got a call yesterday that the drillers were coming. We're getting our well today. You can hear them already, hopefully in the background, just over here. So we are getting a well today. It's been 3 months. It's been since August, I don't know, sometime early August, and finally it's happening. You might be wondering, where in the world is this well going? So right behind me you see 2 tanks. These are the 10,000 gallons that we've got. And upon the drillers, the owner's decision, I guess. Anyway, he said right here would be great. Right next to the tanks, we can come out of the well, plop them right into the tanks. They assured me that hay would not be a problem. Then the workers come today. And the workers are like, look, if you have this spot and the well is gonna go right here, they have to back in the drill rig, and the only way that they could do it is right here. The problem that they're having is behind the drill rig, when they're drilling, they need to dig a hole. I forget what he called it, like a ditch. Anyway, a catch pond or something like this. Anyway, a hole in the ground for water and junk. And the tanks are right where that's gonna be. So they prefer not this spot, so we moved them to another spot. So over on the west side of this little compound, if you want to call it that, we have these 3 slabs. They're each 3,000 square feet, and they're sequentially in a line. You can see the first one behind me, and then I'm standing on the second, and then over here the third, and then we go over and we have the drilling rig behind it. So we're putting this on a slab that is south of all 3 of these, and it's going to be right next to the slab, not too far from the tanks, right over here. So the idea is we're going to be pumping out of this well. We're going to put it into like maybe a 3,000 gallon tank, all the well water. We will still collect water out of the rain barrels, whoops, right over here, and that'll still be gravity fed. I'm going to plumb this over to those tanks so I can, at my discretion, pump over and fill them up. So that's kind of what's happening today. I'm going to try and get you some screenshots, whatever, man. I'm gonna try and get you some video, but let's get to it. Super big blessing. This wasn't supposed to be coming for another week, maybe week and a half. Stressful time, not anticipated, really struggling with work. I've got a funeral I have to go preside at later today. Not really the best of time, but when it comes, you gotta take it and you gotta go. This little backhoe, man, I need a backhoe. I need a backhoe. I gotta find a way to get one. So hopefully I can, man, that'd just be nice, wouldn't it? Man, that'd be nice. Here comes the water truck. Okay guys, so I stepped away from the noise a little bit. So this is kind of how this is going to work, right? This is a multi-day process. They're going to be here at least, I'd say 3 to 4 days. I had a well previously on this property with a lot of logging notes on it. Okay, they've reviewed that. My neighbor over here has also gotten their well drilled by the same company probably 6 months ago. So they know the wells kind of in this area and the formations underground. Typically they would be going down a little bit, examine the soil, because they're trying to find certain layers in the soil, where the water is going to be at, where the water layer, the reservoirs will be. All right, there's sandy soils, there's clay areas, there's formation rock areas, there's all sorts of stuff. Because they already know these two, they know pretty much where those layers are, so they're just going to blow right through, probably right at about 500 feet. The well will ultimately be 700 to 800 feet deep. So hopefully that'll help everything go quicker as they're drilling, but it's still going to take 3 or 4 days to do. So I'm going to try and get all of this in on one video if possible. If not, I'll break it up into 2, but I'll keep you apprised as we go through all of the details. I'm not sure how much more this guy's going to keep digging. So that's a super gel drilling fluid mix. It's like a concrete, and they're mixing it with the water, and they're putting it in this hole. So kind of how this is working is the water truck has gone over and it just is pulling out of the lake whatever it can water-wise. And when they drill the well, they're going to use this water. They're going to suction it through the pump, the drill rig, and it's going to come down the drill stem pipe as they're drilling with a drill bit. And it's going to push all that other debris up and out with the fluid. We have 2 holes that the guy drilled here, and there's a little bit of a bridged gap between the 2. So it's going to put it in this first one, all that excess working fluid. All the sediment's going to hopefully fall out, and they'll just keep sucking out of it and just recirculating the water all the way through. Once it gets to a full point that it can't, you know, it's got too much sediment or whatever, that's a spillway over to the other one, they can at least keep pulling water out of that one. The water truck has gone back over the lake to fill up this thing a little bit more. In the meantime, they're circulating right now and getting through all of this to try and get this mixed up and have it pre-mixed and ready to go. They should be drilling here shortly. All right, first pipe's going down. So I'll tell you what he told me. He says, yeah, you know, I don't mind you filming and all. And he goes, you know, but honestly, it gets kind of boring. It's a very repetitive process. Now that they're getting everything set up, it's just a matter of getting it all done. And it's just going to be drilling down one of those pipes, going down the 20 feet, coming up, picking up another one, drilling down another 20 feet, going up, picking up another one, and keep doing it. And it's just a very repetitive process. People stand around with their arms folded. We spit a few times, kick ground, and do it all over again. So the water truck has come back. They're filling up the water inside the mud pit. That is the definition of the pit. It's a mud pit, and otherwise we just rinse and repeat, literally. Okay, so in talking with the drilling operator, this is some of the things he's looking for. He said that up here in this area of East Texas, you got a lot of sand and then you got a lot of iron ore, and it is really slow drilling. In other parts of East Texas, he can drill this thing probably within a day, just the drilling portion, come back to the casing and everything the next day and be done. Here, they're really looking a week at least probably to get this done. The other part of the problem that they're going to come across is when they drilled my neighbors, there's a portion about 400, 500 feet down where the layer is very sand-like, and so all this water they're returning and cycling through to help drill, they got no return back. And so what happens is the water is going down, but instead of coming back up out of the pipe, it just disperses into the ground. That means they're run out of water and they have to keep trucking water and keep coming and coming and coming. So that's the other part. So it's slow drilling just from the sand and the iron ore in the area, and then there's potentially, we're probably going to hit that same layer, and it just drags this process out. So yep, they just sit here, they watch the pipe, and that's kind of what I'm doing. So there's not much to show with this. I'll kind of give you some updates, but otherwise, yeah, much the same. Our little girlfriend is coming out to check out what's going on, and I think she's a little thirsty. Either way, she's cute, and so is her baby. You know, I've never noticed this before, but I wonder why the buffalo would go and drink out of the corner up by the fence. I don't know. It is really just a gorgeous day today, guys. It's going to be about 70 degrees, nice cool breeze. I love the fall, I really do. Summer sucks, but I love the fall. It's a nice day today. Okay, we've been going at this for a little while. They're on whatever number of pipe, I don't know, but I wanted to just kind of maybe try and explain a little bit about this, okay? A well is drilled, pretty much the objective is we're just putting a hole in the ground until we hit water down in some formation underground, okay? So it's not that big a concept to grasp. And the system that we're using isn't too different, okay? There's a lot of different types of oil rigs or drilling rigs that are out there, okay? So this one, basic concept here is we've got this rotating shaft in the middle. It's keyed, and it's got some drive mechanism. I think they call it the Kelly or something, and it just rotates that. And it goes and it spins and spins and spins. And there's weight put on it, and it's just drilling these pipes down in there. So there's a drill bit at the bottom, there's a bunch of this drill pipe, and the pipe is just there to lengthen that as they keep going down. So really the objective is just to take off. Once they get all the way down there, they disconnect, they reconnect a new piece of pipe, and they kind of go forward. As all this water is being pushed through and pumped all the way to the top, and you can see the hoses going down, and it's going back down through that inside all of the pipe. So all the pipe goes down, all the water goes down, and its job is to help pull all those cuttings, the shavings, the debris and everything, pull it back up. And that keeps some sort of a pressure against the wall as it's being drilled down. So really what happens is, drilling this, the fluid's coming back out down the middle section. And all the sediment falls in the first one, and they're pulling the water back out either the first or the second, and they keep cycling it through. And it's just this rinse and repeat operation. After they get done with this, they're probably going to just pull all the pipe back out, then they stick all their casing, they're going to do some concrete work and everything else, but it's just drilling. All right, day number 2, we're here. The driller's been drilling. So the first update I got is the fact that we were at 640 feet by the time we got here. They got here early. And according to the well, that's about 150 feet away that was previously here, there's a sand layer, and they're looking for the sand layer. So the well is dug down, and it was around 640 or so feet, 650, and they hadn't hit it yet. So they're going through and they're adding pipe, and then they're flushing the system looking to see if they see a coarse sand, and they just haven't hit it yet. So that's what they're looking for this morning, slowly, bit by bit. All right, so on the rig right now, you can see that's what they're doing. They're actually flushing the system. So the pipe is down, you can see it by the heads of the workers, and it's not rotating. So they're taking all this water that's in these mud pits, and they're just pushing it down, and they're trying to flush out whatever's at the bottom. and they're using their shovels up at the top as ways to sift through all the shavings that are coming up, not shavings, but sediment that's coming up. And they're looking for a coarse sand, and that coarse sand is where the fluid or the water down below is. And once they hit that, then they're gonna drill down until they get to the bottom of that, and then that's where they're gonna put their stuff. So they're just searching, trying to find that, and it should be any time now. Just trying to dig out all the excess stuff from yesterday and this morning, where just that sediment that's just been building up, it's like this clay mud nasties. They're just clearing that out. Okay, so we just got to the depth, and this is the sand stuff they're looking for. This is like a beach sand. It's not too bad. It's kind of coarse, meaning they have a lot finer stuff that just looks like goop. Anyway, but this is actually sandy, so this is the stuff they're looking for. Okay, so they found it at 670, and right now they're at 740 feet deep. So it's a 60-foot deep sand layer, and they can make a well out of 20 feet, so it's really good. I'm glad that we have a coarse sand, but this is actually deeper than the other well, which, I don't know, just as geological formations happens all the time. So right now what they're going to do is they're going to call it quits for today, and the next step is that they're going to be putting the casing down, and when they do the casing, that's the PVC pipe, they're going to be putting that down. They're going to have to concrete and everything, and so there's a time factor that they have there. There's not enough time to get the concrete done and all the casing before the end of today. So they're just going to do that Monday after the holiday. And so they're pulling pipe out right now, and they're going to call it quits. So that's day 2 and a wrap. We'll get some footage of them pulling pipe and go from there.
Okay guys, we're on day 3 of the well being drilled. So I talked to the guy this morning to see what's going on. So they've spent the last several hours cleaning out the well. They did it right before Thanksgiving, and so the well's just kind of sat for the last 4 days. And so a bunch of muck. We had rain, and so it was just kind of all gross in there. So they've been cleaning it all out. When I was talking to him, they were about done cleaning it out, and then they're gonna pull it back out their pipe and start prepping all the PVC to go run all the way down. And when they put the PVC down, they have to glue each piece together as it goes down. So if they mess up, it's too dirty, something in there, they'll have to pull it all back out, cut it. Like, it's not cool. He's like, oh, it's a problem for us. So we don't want to do that. But we can't see down there, so we're hoping it's clean when they clean it out. So like, okay, that's our goal for today. We're gonna go see if we can just get some video of the process of what step they're on. And then hopefully tomorrow we're going to finish this up. probably the actual well type pumping PVC. And the outer was the casing. Looks like they got all set yesterday. So now they're going to be gluing, it looks like, pipe to pipe as they push up all the way down 740 feet. Guys, it's day 5, I think, of well. So they finished getting everything ready to attach the pump and the pressure tank and all the things today. So we have this 3,000 gallon tank right over there that we want to bring over so they can put that and hook it up into the system. So we've got to put it on the trailer and drag it over there. Ranch life. So we had those really big water collection holes that they had dug to use the water to circulate. All of that's covered back up, so that's set to go. But let's look at the well. There it is. It's all set, waiting to be connected to the pressure tank and our 3,000 gallon tank. So we're going to drag that over and have that ready for them so they can get everything connected today. But look how nice it is.
It's almost done. There you go.
Ah, it's like magic.
Yeah, it's all green and gross. Yeah.
I wonder why that was pond water.
Good. We're not making this up.
Why don't you work with all your effort together? Combine.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, another pivot.
Why are we turning it
Yeah, we have to get it over there. We're moving it that direction. It just so happens to be turning.
This way. 1, 2, 3. Oh, yeah, ow. Finger smashing.
Go, 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 go. Down on the ground if you need to.
Push it on the ground.
He's got it under. He's got it under.
Hang it. There you go. A little more, a little more. Nice. Whew. Oh, Grant's off. Okay, 1, 2, 3, push. Okay.
Okay, what?
Push, push, push.
Didn't move. Oh, it's moving. It's moving.
1,
Like 2 inches.
2, 3.
You can do it. There you go. That's good. 2, 3 feet.
Keep walking.
No, that's like 2. Yeah, that's like 2 feet. 4, that's 3 feet. There you go. You've almost got it. There you go. Yeah. That's like 3 feet. Good job.
It's a good thing you have such a strong teenage son. Is that it, Grant?
And not done. Much too.
We've got the tank over to the slab where Grant is in my view by the well. So now we have to get the tank tipped onto the slab so we can use it to hook up over here. So we've messaged with Jeff and I think we know where we're putting it. So hopefully nobody dies. The tank survives. The front attachment stuff stays on. A lot of pressure here. A lot of pressure. We got it. 2, 3, push. It's probably stuck at the edge. Pledge. 1, 2, 3. So we're stuck right here on this metal lip. It seems itty bitty, but it's being a problem.
Go. No. Broke them.
Seriously, if we kind of rock it, we can get it off the...
I feel like my muscle broke. Really?
Good, but now you gotta push at the same time to rock. right, we're gonna rotate and squish. Oh, squish, scoot.
Squish?
Scoot this way.
Oh, it is gonna squish.
It is gonna squish. Woo. 1, 2, 3. Push!
What's wrong with it?
Push!
Keep going, keep going. Keep going.
Nice, you're gonna
Watch this do.
1,
Keep going,
2,
right?
3, push! Is that good?
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Alright, it's set up, it's by the well. Our well guys are here, we're gonna get out of their way.
All right, guys, well is behind me and it's all done. Sitting there concreted down. We've got our control box that's sitting there to regulate it, and we have a water tank. So typical systems, you know, you're gonna come right out of the well, right down to the bottom, it'll be connected, and it goes to a booster or a pressure tank. And when that pressure tank gets a little low, it kicks on a pressure switch, right? Which turns the well back on and it blows it out. So we got ours kind of set up a little different, and let me actually kind of show it to you what we got going on. So at the ranch right now, we still don't have electric. That's a whole other conversation, another cursing and dusting of the feet kind of crap. So we don't have electric still here. Hopefully, again, I'll find out later. So the way that we've got this set up is we have our well down here on the bottom, and they have kicked out a bunch of water. We've actually got our water sample. We can send that in, and the pump is sitting there, and it's got a nozzle at the end that we can connect to. All right, so without the electric, what they've done is they've taken the power cable, and we got ourselves a dryer plug, a 240, and we connected it here. So without electric, they don't have a box they can put this in. So we got the plug, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna use this with a generator. It's an 11,000 watt generator. Plug this puppy in, and then use that to pump the water when we need until we kind of get everything else hooked up. Inside this guy is the controller that turns it on and off. It kind of helps regulate the pump, and it's got its wiring, all the same kind of shindig. It's there. We'll go into more details as we fully set it up. But the big difference that we have is that we have this tank, and we have the 3,000 gallon tank sitting over here, and so this is the objective. The well will go ahead and pump water. The water is going to be filled straight into this pressure, or this water tank, and it's going to hold 3,000 gallons, and they put a float, and it'll kick on, and I think he said it's only going to drop 500 gallons. I don't like that. I'm going to probably reset it. Anyway, to maybe go down to about halfway, 1,500 gallons or so is kind of what I'm thinking. And what's going to happen is the outlet down at the bottom of the tank is then going to feed into a booster, which is then going to pressurize the water from here and then go to the pressure tank, which then can go to the house or go to anywhere else, kind of a thing. Okay, I may branch off the booster and go straight out. So the pressure tank may be just for the house. I don't know. I'm going to cover that in a later episode. But we're going to store the water from the well in here, because the pump down there in that well, you don't want to turn on, turn off, turn on, turn off, turn on, turn off. And if all you have is a little pressure tank, if you're using it for high volumes of things here and there, more than just brushing your teeth, it'll cycle a lot, and that can kind of wear out your motor. So we're storing it in this, and that will help us still maintain a lot of water and the life of that pump, and it'll just kick on. So the pump actually is only about 10 gallons a minute. So every hour it'll pump 600 gallons. So it may stay on 3 hours and then turn off. So it's not bad. I'm just excited that we finally got water. So we're doing good. Our water tanks over there have actually been holding. We've been getting some rain, although our grass doesn't look like it. And so our animals have water. I don't have to pump yet over into there, but now add it to the list. Another project is we're going to be worrying about this tank. Other thing to point out, that plug that's there, I'm going to keep the plug on. And when we bring electric over, I'm going to actually dismount that aluminum control box, and I'm going to bring it inside the building, put it on some plywood, and then I'm actually going to put a little breaker in here 50 amp breaker for that plug, and I'm just going to plug it in, turn it on, turn it off as I needed. So I'm not going to rewire everything. I'm just going to put it inside the building as my objective. I think it's going to look pretty. I think it's going to look tight, and it'll just be the well on the outside really, and some pipe coming out, and that's it. And that's all you'll see, except on the inside. Thanks for joining with us today, guys. We're super ecstatic and excited about having this water pump finally here, the well. So we're going to be in the next episodes coming up, especially if we ever drastically have to get water. We're going to start pumping and get the plans ready for this building. So again, we've got our house. If you haven't been with us, we've got the garage, which is the offices now we're building out, waiting for supplies. We've got a small house to do. We've now got the well house to do and a bunch of pipe delay. A lot of stuff upcoming, so keep with us. This is us starting a ranch, a buffalo ranch or a bison ranch from the very beginning, bare scratch. So everything's going in brand new, I guess, and trying to keep costs down. So if you're interested in doing a bison ranch or even a ranch, these are some of the experiences you're gonna have. We're gonna do it pretty much clean and share with you all the junk that also goes along. So maybe not always positive news, but it's gonna be the news and the stuff that you're actually gonna do. It's realistic in the flesh kind of stuff. So keep with us. We'll keep you posted on the well house, but that's coming up on a future build. We'll catch you next time, guys, on Blackacre Ranch. Remember to like and subscribe.